Queen, to another episode of Welcome back, Queen, to another episode of Creatress of Freedom. How are you today? Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. And oh my gosh, is today's episode a juicy, juicy, juicy one? Oh, this I feel is a really important topic to be having. I don't know about you, but fuck, it is blowing up my Instagram and my social media at the moment. And I am feeling mixed feelings about this topic. So I'm really excited to delve into this with you today. I know that you too are very excited because I've had some of you ask me on my opinion and my advice around all of this. I've had some people come into my spaces and want some guidance on what it looks like. So I'm really excited. But before we do that, hello, I'm Annie and I am your host for today and every other day. What am I talking about? I am the former founder of According to Annie, and we have evolved into the Creatress of Freedom. And so if you are new here, welcome, welcome. If you're like, what the hell is Creatress of Freedom? Creatress means a goddess, right? Like, I mean, of course, you're a goddess who creates freedom. And so when we talk about freedom, it's really about the definition of what freedom means to you, because freedom can be externally. So it can be in different things, materialistic things, but it's also freedom is internally as well. And it's really about finding that deep inner peace within yourself. And so I'm so excited to, be really bringing this brand to life, because I feel like I'm such the embodiment of being the Creatress of Freedom. You know, I really wipe out every societal rule around how we're supposed to do business and live our life. I mean, depending on how long you've been listening here, I live in Greece, like what the fuck? And I run my business from here. And even if I owned a salon, I would still live this life. And I truly believe that. And I know that that can be very challenging for your mindset to believe that you really can create your life in any way, shape, or form. But honestly, we can. We really can. And that's the most exciting part about being the Creatress of Freedom. She really does blow out of the ballpark what those definitions really mean. And she creates her own definitions of what it means. So hello. I'm so excited to be here. And I am so happy that you're here with me as well. So let's talk a little bit about this conversation that is really big at the moment in the hair and beauty space, and actually just online, just the presence online at the moment. And that is the conversation I want to have is around MONAT. Let's talk about MONAT, right? So it is a multi-level marketing company, and I want to share just different viewpoints on this company. I have used the product myself, and I mean it was okay. I didn't love it personally. I feel like, you know, professional products that we can purchase from the salon are like just as nice personally. And you know, the whole like being like locked in and with their different stats and things like that. Like I didn't love that. My girlfriend, my very beautiful dear sister, is actually a rep for it, and she was actually one of the very first that bought it here to Australia, because she was living in America. If you have not listened to the episode, I interviewed her and brought her on. She was originally living in America, and it was really big in America. And then when she left America, she came to Australia, and it hadn't been launched here yet in Australia. So she was like really starting to talk about it and share it with the people here in the community. She's also a hairdresser as well. So we actually did our apprenticeship together. So I'm very familiar with the company because of not only because I've used the products, but because I have a very dear sister who has been a part of the company for a long time. She was buying the products when she was in America as a customer, and then when she moved here, and they launched, she started her business from here. And we've worked together doing creating her business model to really stand out from the rest, and still incorporating MONAT into her business, but completely shifting the way that everybody else is doing it. And I think that is her advantage when it comes to this. And so if you are considering MONAT, go and have a listen to that episode. It is in the show notes. You'll see which episode that is, because off the top of my head, I don't know exactly what the number of that episode is, but we'll put it in the show notes. So if you want to go and have a listen to the interview that I do with her, you're more than welcome to go and do that. But what I want to really talk about today is my take on MONAT from a business perspective. And I really feel like this is a conversation that we need to have because of a few different reasons. So the first reason that I want to delve into is I see a lot of non-professionals that have no experience in the hair and beauty world that are jumping on this bandwagon, right? They're jumping on this wagon because, let's face it, us as women, it's probably one of the easier business models to be pitching, because we all do hair and makeup, right? And most of us are into that. So being able to pitch it to women, it's a pretty easy sell, essentially. So I feel like everybody is jumping on it at the moment. Like literally my entire feed is like blown up, and I feel like every second person is a part of MONAT and is building out a team. And some of the people that are building out these network marketing companies, teams, I used to work with in network marketing, right? So if you are new here, I have done multi-level marketing before. So I feel like I can talk a lot on this topic because I have the experience with it. And so I first started it, I was in a company called the Chef's Toolbox. And so it was pots and pans, and it was all about like going into people's houses, and we would cook with it, kind of like Tupperware. We would cook with it, and then I would do a demonstration, and I would pitch the products, and I would sell the products to whoever came. And I had phenomenal success in this business. I really believed in the products. I loved the products. And I started this company when I first started my salon. So I was with my ex, Jace, in Bendigo, and we had just bought a house, but we started the business of the hair salon in the back. I created a bungalow in the back room, and I was focusing on building the salon up, but it was a little bit of a slow take, and it was not enough money for me to live off. And so a beautiful friend of mine, Deb, introduced me to the company, and she's like, I think you'd be really great at this. And I was like, yeah, okay, this sounds amazing. And I went to a couple of her parties, and she talked a little bit about the business opportunity with it. And I thought, I think I could do this. You know, it doesn't interfere in my timing with the salon. And so I really feel like this is a great way for me to be able to make more money without having to hustle. And so per party, I was making anywhere from, I would say maybe like 250 through to maybe like $300 per party. See this light coming in on me, which is not. That's from there. Okay. There we go. I could just see the light reflecting. So sorry, Jackie, you have to cut that out. So essentially I was making pretty good money, and that was for just a couple of hours work. And then some things started to shift within the company, and my intuition told me it was time to get out. I had a team. My team were doing amazing, but there was something that didn't feel right. And this company partnered up with KitchenAid. And I remember this specific moment. We were in an event where we had a guest speaker come in, and the event was specifically for the leaders. And so as I was in the bathroom, and they had just finished announcing that they were partnering up, Chef's Toolbox was partnering up with KitchenAid. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. And so they were really creating this hype, and they're like, it's so exciting, this is amazing. But my intuition told me the opposite. And so I went off to the bathroom and I met with like one of she was like not the co-founder, but she was like the marketing person that kind of was very like almost like the CEO of the company. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, are you excited to hear about that we're partnering up with KitchenAid?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it." And she's like, "What? This is revolutionary. This is amazing. This is so good. Like, this is going to be a game changer for the company." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And I really didn't know how I felt about it. And it was interesting because even my mentor, that was my upline, we were having a conversation about it. And I said to her, "I don't know how I feel about this, Deb." And she was like, "What do you mean? This is like so exciting. Like, we have another product that we're able to sell." And I said, "I don't know, something feels off." And she's like, what do you mean, Annie?" And I would have been, what was I? I was like 23. So like very new to being in business. I think I'd only had my salon for like a couple of months. Like, it wasn't very long at all. We had just bought our first house. Yeah. And I was like, "I don't know, something feels off." And she's like, "What? Something feels off?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, I feel like if they have to partner with another company, something's not going right." And she's like, "Oh, I don't think so. I think they're expanding." I was like, "That's not how I feel." So I decided to jump out of the company. So I handed all of my team over and I said, I'm done. I wish everybody all the best. And I pulled out. Like, even now when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, that was like such a brave, bold move to like walk away from my team. I had incredible commissions, not only from myself, but also from um, my team as well, because I had a team that were doing really well. We were running team meetings. I was hosting team meetings for our local area because we were in Gippsland. Because then I moved oh my God, I've jumped the gun. So then I left that long-term relationship, moved to Gippsland, and I still continued to do parties there while I was building my new salon because I had to renovate my entire new salon. So the Chef's Toolbox company was like really producing like quite a fair bit of income for me at that time. But something just really didn't sit well with me. And I decided that no, it was time that I got out. So I gave away everything and I walked away from the multi-level company and I focused on the salon. So the salon was up and going at this stage. I just moved into a commercial premises, renovated it, gutted it, did everything. And I was like, I'm going to put my focus into here. And then, oh my gosh, the salon was hard. I was in so much debt. I was working 70 plus hours. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is so hard. And somebody approached me about joining Isogenics. And at that stage, like, I was in burnout. I was exhausted. I was like gaining weight. I was not looking after myself. And I was trying to run this business and I was new being a stepmom and I was trying to juggle all of it and it just all felt too much. And I thought, well, this is a great way to not only get my health back on track, but I've been in network marketing before and I'm really successful at it. I had phenomenal success. So I don't see why this would be any different. And I have an incredible networking community. So that is what I did. I signed up with Isogenics and the comp plan was amazing. It was so good. I loved it. And it was like great success once again. And I had clients that were coming in to have their hair done that were purchasing $600 like starter kits to get their health back on track. And then I was mentoring them through getting their health on track. And then Troy jumped on the bandwagon. So this was my new partner by this stage. And he like started to transform his life. And then he started to really work with the guys. And so then the guys were coming on board and we were building this like phenomenal business. And again, like multiple six-figure business that we were earning. And I was still doing really, really well with it. And the salon was like kind of like half and half. Like the salon was having great days and then I'd have like really shit days. And so this was when I really started to think about what my choices were. And I was like, okay, what do I do here? Do I just walk away from the salon and just put all my time and energy into Isogenics? or do I continue trying to do both? But honestly, I was so exhausted, and I was seeing the amount of time and effort that I was putting into the isogenics business and seeing what the rewards were. And I really enjoyed the mentoring side of things. I really enjoyed helping the women like break through different things that they were coming up against. And so that was where I was at. You know, the business for the salon was like almost in 80 grand worth of debt. It was like about $85,000 worth of debt. And I just felt like the salon was drowning me. And I remember having a conversation with Troy, and he was like, you know what? It was about the July. He was like, let's see out the December, and then that's it. You're going to close the doors. You're going to walk away and just go full time into isogenics, because you can just work from home, and you know, you're doing amazing at it. So you might as well just put your time and energy into that. And so I was like, yeah, I guess. So that was the decision that we had made, that come the end of that year, I was going to close the doors from the salon because it was too hard. It was so much effort. I had some really bad experiences with staff, which I now know was not my staff's issue. It was mine, because I didn't know how to lead my team. And I learned so many valuable lessons through that now, because I can look back, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But in the moment, like, oh my God, I just was like, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not cut out for this. And there was this pivotal moment where I was like, okay, yep, come December, I'm going to close the doors. I'm going to walk away from this. I'm not cut out to be a salon owner. But there was just this deep fire within me that was not ready to let that go yet. Like, I really wanted to still stay in the hair and beauty industry. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, so many people are, you know, making out on social media and everything like that, that they're making it. Like, why can't I? Why can't I make it? And so I really felt disheartened. And as much as I loved isogenics, and I loved the community, and I loved the personal development the events that they put on, like, oh my gosh, like that is just like getting all of those people in one space that are like-minded. Like that is fire. You walk away from those things so lit up, and you feel like you've got new family. And I think because I grew up in a church where community was something that was really big, after leaving the church, I think I really missed that community aspect. And so I think I was also looking for different areas where I could immerse myself into to find the community aspect that filled that core need, which is a human need. Might I add, a human core need is that we have community. And so I remember having a conversation with Troy. He was about to go on a 5-week trip with the boys, and they were doing like from Gippsland right up through to like Cape York. Was that the top of Queensland? I'm like, no, I'm having a blank. Is it Cape York? Anyway, right up the top, past Cairns. It's like the very highest part of Queensland. Anyway, they were doing this trip for like 5 weeks. And right before he left, I said to him, one of my clients has told me that there's a vacant shop in the main street, and she's a beautician, and she has suggested that maybe I move the salon so that I get more foot traffic. And because she's a beautician, we can kind of cross over with our people. And Troy was like, really? I thought we were going to close the salon at the end of December. And I was like, yeah, but I'm just not ready to let it go. Like, and he was like, all right, well, if anyone's going to make it work, it's going to be you. So I'm going to give you 3 months. All right. We can move the salon. And if we're not making profit, or it's not working within 3 months, we're not going to keep pouring money into it, because at this stage, Troy was starting to financially contribute to my house, to my salon. And I was like, okay, yep, cool. I can do this. So that like lit a new fire in me. And I was like, okay. So then I relocated the salon. So while he was gone, we renovated the entire salon. He ended up coming back earlier to help do more renovations. In this time period as well, we also sold our house and moved house. So the same weekend that we moved house, I also opened my salon. Like, it was insane. It was such a crazy time, but oh my gosh, did we just make it work? That's what you do, right? You just make it work. And my very first opening was a wedding. It was one of my beautiful dear clients, and we opened the salon for it just in time for her wedding. and it was just a beautiful day. It was grand final weekend, so it was in September. And I made this decision that I can't keep doing things half-assed, right? I can't keep saying that I can do two businesses, right? Like, you're spreading yourself too thin, Annie. So you need to either go all in on Isagenix, or you need to go all in on the Salon when you've got it to this stage that you've got it at. And so I made the decision to slowly start moving more of my attention and energy towards the Salon. And I remember having a phenomenal December. It was the biggest December that I ever had. I think I did I was on my own, and I think I did 40K. It was incredible. It was amazing. I was like, yes, the move paid off. It was so good. Yay, yay, yay. And then January rolled around and it was dead. And I remember sitting in the back room thinking, oh my God, what have I done? This is not good. Oh my God, I should have stuck with Isagenix. And I remember I was scrolling in the back room, and I seen a post come up from a mentor. And from that post, I entered my details in, and I had a phone call, and I ended up starting in mentorship. And at that stage, the Salon, a good week was $1,500, especially first part of the year. And then after that, within my first week of working with her, we did $4,500. And I learned all of these new things. And within the 12 month, I got myself out of $85,000 worth of debt. The business turned over $95,000 worth of profit. And, I had this cash actually sitting in my bank account. So it was a phenomenal growth, right? So when it comes to multi-level marketing companies, I get it, right? I get it. And I know why you go into it, because it seems like it's an easier option. But the truth is that at the end of the day, you still have to put time and effort into it, right? You still have to show up. Yes, you might get a business in a box, but the end of the day, it still requires you to make sales. It still requires you to push through your limiting beliefs. It still requires you to continue to show up on social media, right? And so bringing this back to MONAT, and do you go down that path or do you not? Well, I guess it really depends on who's listening to this episode, because if you are a salon owner, then I want to share with you some actual stats on whether it is in your best interest or not to go down that path. And if you're not a salon owner and you want to do that, well, that really depends on what your reasons are, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that, because you've got no experience in the hair and beauty industry, you shouldn't be in MONAT. I'm not saying that at all, because I do believe that, with the right support and the right uplines, that, you can be successful in this. But I guess what I'm really talking to today is those that are in the hair and beauty industry. And I really want to remind you that you have so much knowledge, right? You've put years of time and money into your skill set, into being who you are right now. And don't let these people come in that have no experience start to take the reward of the financial aspect from you and your business, because they're dangling the shiny new carrot, right? With MONAT. Don't let that happen, because if they don't have any experience, then they could be selling the wrong type of skincare, the wrong type of hair products to this client, because they're making it about the money, right? They want the money. Versus you, who is trained and skilled and has put years into your knowledge and your information, right? This is not just a quick win for you. You've been in this industry for a long time. You are heart, soul is in it. You are super passionate about this. So please don't let these MONAT people that are not in the industry take this away from you. We need you more than ever right now, because people are going to be misled. People are going to be taken down a path thinking that this is right and this is where they should be spending their money, and they may not be being directed in the right area. They may not have the right products. And, I was having this conversation with my girlfriend who is in MONAT, and we were talking about there has been some lawsuits with MONAT. Like, we're just going to call this out, right? Because there's good sides and bad sides to every business, right? But we were having this conversation about some of these lawsuits, and some of the lawsuits have been because these people have been recommended the wrong products. They should never have been on them. And so this is why you're needed so much more than ever right now. We need your knowledge. We need you to be talking to your clients about products, from skincare to hair care. We need you. We need your knowledge. We need your expertise. We need you to start calling this out so that these things don't happen. So people aren't having hair loss. So people aren't having skin irritations because they're being told to purchase these products that are not suitable for them. Please, I can't emphasize this enough. We need you to step up. Don't fall into the trap of letting these people that have no experience in the industry go down this path. It's a disservice to your client. If you have clients walking in your door and they are not purchasing retail from you, it is a disservice because they are finding it from someone else. Whether that's the chemist, whether that's the supermarket, whether that's Hair House Warehouse, whether that is online, whether that's a MONAT rep, it's a disservice to your clients. So I need you to step it up. I need you to have these conversations with your clients around retail so that they're at least being informed correctly. If they choose not to buy it, that's on them. That's on them, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, you've got to hold a gun to their head and make sure that they buy it. No, what I'm saying is that it's up to you to at least have those conversations with your clients so that you give them the opportunity to purchase from you. They already know, they already love, they already trust you, right? The principles behind people spending money with you is that they have to know, like, and trust you. These people already do that. So continue to make sure that you keep offering these services to them so that they get it. They get the 100% service that they deserve, not the products just because Joe Blow wants to make a quick buck. And then she makes her buck and then she realizes, fuck, this is really hard. I don't really want to do this. I thought that it would be easy to be in multi-level business because I had a business that was sold to me that it was easy and I could do from home, and have no idea that actually showing up online is a completely different ball game, and just being in business is fucking hard. And then all of a sudden she's going to fall off the face of the earth and now you're left to pick up the pieces. Please don't let this happen. We need you. We need you more than ever. So that is the first part that I want to talk about. Didn't mean to spend nearly half an hour on the first part. The second part that I want to talk about is, if you are in the industry, do you consider this as a business model? And so I've got some stats here, and these are very real stats that I've done some research on. And I want to share with you this perspective because I know that the new shiny object, right, can be really appealing to want to jump into. I know that it's like, oh, everyone's buying it, so let's jump into it, right? It's like it's the new thing. It's the trend right now. And these people that are selling the product, yes, it is the trend right now, but you've been in this industry for a fucking long time. Don't let these little shoo-ins take that off you, right? So the stats, the average client spend in a shopping cart for MONAT is $150. That's the average right now. And so if these people that are non-professional, that are able to pull up a cart of $150 and send the person a link so they can put in their checkout details and get it sent to them, then you can too. Because you have the upper hand well and truly compared to these other people. So let's do the stat on this, right? Now, let's say you have 60 clients that come into your doors every single week, right? Let's say at $150, if that's the average shopping cart for MONAT, let's say you implemented my framework of the $1,000 consultation script and you were able to implement that and have $150 worth of sales per person. We're going to reduce it down, right? We're going to say, let's say not all 60 buy retail. Let's say 30 do. So at $150 on retail, times that by 30, that is $4,500. $4,500 a week just in retail. That's not adding in your services that you're offering as well to your clients. So I don't want to hear that people aren't spending money on retail, because if non-professionals have people spending $150 per shopping cart, people are spending money. The difference is that you're not creating the value like these other people are. You haven't got the hype like these other people have. And they have the hype because they want to make the money. Right? So if you sold $150 shopping cart to 30 people inside MONAT, let's look at the comp plan. You would be given from MONAT, they would pay you out $675. Okay, we're going to get into some stats here. I've done some homework, I've done some research. So 30 clients at $150 spend. If you did that in your salon, that's $4,500, right? If you did that with MONAT, it's also a total of $4,500. But the difference here is that MONAT will pay you out $675. In your salon, your markup is 100%, which means that if you sold $150 to 30 clients, you would make a profit of $2,250 versus $675 using the product range that you have in your salon, the range that your clients already love, the range that you're already using in the salon, at the basin, with your clients in the treatment rooms. That's a big difference, right? And that's also 30 clients that you have to try and convert over to a new brand versus the clients that you have sitting in your chair with the brand on your shelf. Now, before you come at me and you're like, oh yeah, but there's bonuses, Annie. Yeah, there is bonuses. And the bonus is that you get $85 for every 4 new clients that purchase MONAT in a calendar month. So you have to have 4 new people every single month. And for those 4 new people that you have sign up, you get given $85. So let's say that your 30 clients are new, right? I'm gonna like go with this hypothetical. Your 30 clients are new clients for the calendar month, which means that that's an average you would get of 7.5 at the $85 because it's for every 4 new clients. So that means that that would also give you a bonus commission of $637.50. $637.50. So what you get on commission of retail is $675, and then what you get as a bonus is $637.50. So that's a total at the end of the month, if you had 30 new clients, of $1,312.50 paid out from MONAT versus you selling $150 of your own products that you've got in your salon, knowing that there's 100% markup. And if you are selling under recommended retail price, here is your reminder and kick up the butt to be selling it at least at recommended retail price. If it's at 100% markup, your profit for the exact stats would be $2,250. what is that in the difference? Let's actually add that. What is the difference here? So 2,250 minus 1312.50. So you have made an extra $937.50. So if you put that time and energy into your own business model, instead of adding another business model where you now have leaky energy because you're trying to focus on something else, I guarantee that you will make more money in your own salon. I guarantee that. If you focused the time and energy that you're going to put into starting another business into your own business, you would make nearly an extra $1,000. Nearly an extra $1,000. Now, remember that I said to you that probably most clients for MONAT, like 30 would be a month, right? I can't really imagine that they would sell more than 30 units of product. Let me work that out. Let me get that calculator out. So 30, divide that by 4.3. So that's about 7 clients per week, right? That sounds probably about average for, say, a retail business. So that's probably what they would get paid for the month, right? But I worked yours based out off weekly because you have a lot more clients coming into your salon. So I based this off 30 clients a week versus I really highly doubt that MONAT reps would have 30 clients a week signing up for retail. I highly doubt that. Not straight up, not when they first start operating the business. So if that was the case, and we are doing this at 30 clients a week, times that by 4.3, that's a total of 129 clients, right? So 129 clients for the month. And if you were making a $2,250 profit per week, times that by 4.3, that's nearly 10 grand. It's almost 10 grand profit that you would be making for the month if you put that time and energy into the products and the retail that you had on your shelf. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know where I'd be spending my time and energy. I would 100% be spending my time and energy on the current business model that I've got. I would be refining things. I would be working up the structures that I've got in the systems and the policies. I would be focusing on implementing new things. I would be working on my own skill set on sales. Because if you think about it, you would need all of them anyway for a new business. So why not put the time and energy into this business that you've got? And then people are going to probably come and go, yeah, but it's the online thing. Like, you know, I can make money from home. Yeah, you can make money from home, but you can also do that even if you're a salon owner. It just means you have to pivot your business, which is no different to starting a new business. You literally pivoted. You could create money while you take leave. There is multiple ways that we can do this, and this is the work that we do inside Evolve. The women that come in, they don't just rely on one stream of revenue. We create lots of different revenues for them to have different streams of income coming through. But you're stuck in the narrow-minded, and you're like, oh no, I can only make money when I exchange time for services. No, that's the old way of doing business. Now we work on how else can you bring other revenue? Not just focusing on time for money. That's an old, outdated way. And that's why everyone's jumping into this online space of MONAT. Because like, oh yeah, but I can do it from home and I can do it here and I can do that. Yeah, okay, cool. You can do the exact same with your own business. You just have to pivot. You have to be willing to pivot. You have to be willing to learn something new. So don't put all that time and energy into a new business. Focus on what you've got and pivot and make slight little adjustments and refine things. And you'll make a fuckload more money. I just did the stats for you. If that's not enough to like help give you clarity on, do I start with MONAT or do I focus on my salon? Focus on your salon would be my advice. Because you can create that business model to create different avenues to make more profit. I have women that come into my space that are completely off the salon floor and their business is still making money because we change things up. We pivot. We don't just do the exchange time for money. The other thing that I also want to point out as well with MONAT is that they only allow you to do a maximum order of $1,500 per month. So if you were thinking about getting the stock on your shelf and having clients purchase it off the shelf, I would again highly recommend that you don't do that. Because if we're going off the stats, the average client spend is $150. That means only 10 clients per month would be able to purchase what you've got on your shelf. That's not many. I would like to think that you've got 10 clients per day that are spending money on retail. So there is some pros and there is some cons against it. And it's not about what is right and what's wrong. It's really about what your dreams are and what your desires are and the lifestyle that you want to live versus how do you want this business to be. I'm not saying that MONAT is a terrible business plan. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go down that path. What I'm saying is that if you're feeling stuck or bored or your current business is not creating the lifestyle or the money that you are hoping that it was, this might be time for you to reevaluate. Why? This might be time for you to actually get into spaces where you can get support on building this business into a business that actually is in alignment with the lifestyle that you want to live, rather than jumping ship. Because I guarantee any business, whether it's online, whether it's network marketing, it does not matter. I've done it all. It still requires your time and energy. There is no business that you can just get paid for and do nothing. And everyone is looking for a quick fix. There is no quick fix to business. This is why not everyone makes it. This is why so many people start off and then they fall off the wagon. This is why there is like 1% of the world that do this work, because it's fucking hard. Because you have to keep showing up even when shit's not going right. You have to constantly be reevaluating, is this working, is this not working? You have to constantly look at the data. You have to constantly lead your team. And not everyone has that capability to be able to do that. So don't feel threatened by these people coming through the doors of MONAT that don't have the experience, because you have built your business up to this point. You have the years of experience. You're here for the long-term gain. So don't let them deter you. They will come and they will go. I've seen it so many times in different multi-level companies. Like I said, I worked in 2. So I've seen it. People come in thinking that it's a quick fix, and then they realize, fuck, I actually have to do some work. And then all of their own stuff comes up, from mindset, limiting beliefs, the hustle. It actually isn't giving them the freedom that they hoped, because business takes time and energy and effort. And you are going to be challenged in all of your areas. It's going to bring up all of your sales wounds. That's what business does. And if you don't have the right support that helps you navigate through that, it's going to be fucking hard. So I just want to wrap up this beautiful, delicious conversation. Can you hear how passionate I am about it? Because I can see it from both sides. And like I said, this is not about bagging out the company. I think that the company is a great company. And I think that it's beautiful that it's bringing women together and it's eliminating this like hierarchy of bitchiness. I love that. But it doesn't mean that this is the way that you should go for your business. So if you're not sure if this is what you want or whether you should go this path or not, then maybe use this as an opportunity to come and jump inside Evolve, because Evolve is literally that. It is about you evolving as the whole woman so that we can change and pivot the business so that you can make more money without having to keep exchanging time for money. And you can also learn new frameworks, and you can also heal any of your stories or your limiting beliefs that you've got and start to become a much more evolved version of yourself. So if that feels like this is the area that you want to tap into, then here's an invitation to come and join us inside. You'll see in the show notes there is a link for more information around Evolve, or you'll see in the show notes that there is an application where you can just jump straight in and just apply. And then I will get back to you after I have had a read through the application. And if I don't feel like it's the right fit for you, 100% transparency, I will let you know. Maybe there's something else in my world that might be a better fit for you. And if nothing in my world is the right fit, I will be 100% transparent with that, and I'll let you know and maybe guide you somewhere else. If that feels like this is what you want to do, though, this invitation is here. I see you. I love you. I know that you're showing up. And I know that days you don't want to show up and you still do. So please just remember how far you've come. And please don't let these MONAT bitches, I say that nicely, especially if they're not in the hair and beauty industry, don't let them sway you off your path. Stay true to you, girl. You've got this. I'll talk to you soon.